Hello and welcome to the ProSource Wholesale Roundtable with two well-known Carpet One and ProSource owners, John Hughes and John Taylor. I'm Bruce Burnett with ProSource here in our St. Louis CCA offices, and today we will have a short roundtable discussion with both Johns, sharing some of their ProSource showroom experiences. As we get started, let me give a brief background on our esteemed guests. First of all, John Taylor. John started Taylor Carpet One 23 years ago in Fort Myers, Florida. And then 8 years ago, he and Steve Katzenberg acquired the Daytona Beach ProSource and have since opened showrooms in Fort Myers, Naples, Lakeland, and they're about to open a brand new showroom in Ocala, Florida. So they are a multi-unit operation there in Florida. John Hughes, he and his wife opened their O'Brien's Carpet One 28 years ago in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And then 21 years ago, they opened the ProSource showroom in Colorado Springs. So both of these guests today, John and John, have been Carpet One for a long time and now ProSource for a long time. So thank you for joining the roundtable today, John and John. I appreciate it. And let me just kick off by asking a question to John Taylor here. John, share a little bit about how you started your ProSource venture and why you made that decision to get into it.
Well, thanks, Bruce, for having us. Back in 2013, prior to that, we've been bumping heads with ProSource down the road from us in Fort Myers for many years. And you know, when you don't understand the ProSource system, they become your enemy. And we competed against them for a long time. And there wasn't much love between the two of us. And I was the ring coordinator for Carpet One. And one of the members out of Orlando, Steve Katzenberg, he had heard me talk about this a number of times. And he was approached by Ronnie Tomlinson about the Daytona location. And it was a location that was presently not doing very well, probably underfunded, and just not the right personnel and whatever. And Steve didn't want to do it on his own, so he came to me and asked me to partner up with him. And I was not real sure about it because of a couple reasons. One, it was 4 hours away from my current location, and secondly, I'd never had a partner before, and I had worried about that part of it. But after looking at everything and deciding to give it a shot, we did it, and it's been a start of a great partnership and a great business relationship. And we've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about the ProSource system. So.
Well, fantastic, John. So that's good to know. So we were competing strong against you, huh? And that's interesting. Hey, John Hughes, what about you? How did you guys get started? What made you make that decision to jump into ProSource and open a brand new showroom?
We had a small to the trades business going prior to opening ProSource, and we were told that there was somebody was going to take this market if we did not take it. So anyway, we talked to ProSource and decided that it was time to make the move on it. So we jumped in, bought a building, and moved everything into that. So we had a small amount of business, trades business going prior to opening the ProSource. So we didn't have to wait too long to get the business going.
Okay. So John Hughes, as you got into the ProSource and you had your Carpet One going, what do you say is the major difference between that retail Carpet One and now the ProSource in a wholesale environment? What do you think is the major difference? How has it been for you in those differences?
We had first off no installing. That was a big thing for us, and also selling to the trades. We had the opportunity to get a totally different customer coming and selling to them. So, and it's membership model. That was another thing that we felt that was going to be a big plus for us.
So when you opened it, you said no installation, so you didn't have that staff running around. Do you remember there in Colorado Springs how many staff you initially opened with, and then how many staff do you have now in your showroom?
We had 3 people when we first opened. Today we've got 7 actually.
Oh, okay, fantastic. And with a good, high volume showroom. John Taylor, how about you? What do you see as the major differences between your retail and Carpet One and the ProSource?
Well, I too agree that the labor factor is a big deal and big difference. It's nice not to have the everyday worries of the installation side of it. Basically, when we load out a job at ProSource, they sign off that that's the right material, that it's what they ordered, and it's gone. I don't have to worry about an installer not showing up at 11 o'clock or 9 o'clock or whatever the case may be, and that's a huge benefit. I also think that the amount of claims that you have in ProSource is much less than you have with Carpet One as well, the clientele and the members are are a different group than what you typically deal with at your Carpet One also.
So are you saying, John Taylor, that it's less headache, a ProSource showroom? Is that what you're saying?
When I go out of town, I worry about my Carpet One. I don't worry about my ProSource. Just it's a different staff. They are able to take care of things easier, and it's less headaches.
Well, fantastic. Good to know. Worry free. I had never thought about that for our ProSource, but good one. So, John Taylor, what staffing does your showrooms typically? What does it range from in your multiple showrooms?
We range from in our smallest amount of staff would be 5 people, and we go up to about 10 people.
Okay. All right. Well, good to know. Another question, John Taylor, for you. With ProSource, a franchise model, a little bit different than the Carpet One. The support that comes out of ProSource National from the corporate offices. Talk a little bit about that support. Which ones do you find the best? And then we'll switch over to John Hughes after.
So it's different than the Carpet One side because the Carpet One side's a co-op, and basically the co-op gives you a lot of ideas, but we don't have to do them on the Carpet One side. And on the ProSource side, it's much more standardized. The support we get from the franchise is really fantastic. We use a lot of the aspects of it. The marketing, the FBCs, which is a field business consultant, come in and help us. There's just a lot of different parts of that really make running that business very easy. And we drink the Kool-Aid. We try to do it the ProSource way, and I think that's important. If you're going to be a part of a group, I think you have to use the tools that are given to you, and so we try to do that on a regular basis.
Thanks. John Hughes, what would you say would be, how ProSource National has helped you in the beginning and now as you've grown the last 21 years with ProSource?
They've been a very, very good partner. They've actually, with the coordinators, Chris Pace, who we have now, has just been tremendous as far as hiring, interviewing potential managers and potential people that we hire. So he's been just tremendous in that sense there. And as far as any other issues with the computer, with any support that we need, he's there to help us. And so that is something that I feel is tremendous, very helpful.
And John Hughes, I know that you just recently have really kicked into gear with the new product category or beefing up on the sundries side. Speak a little bit about sundries and what you've done to get that going and why you decided to make that decision.
We have one warehouse that all of our installers go out of, from our Carpet One stores to our Floor Trader store and ProSource. So anything that's sold goes into that warehouse, and all of the installers come there to pick up. And anyway, we sell a few of our Carpet One people their sundries, but we started talking about it and listening to the crews coming in, and when we'd ask them about where they were going to get this or get their inset or whatever, they were all going to Home Depot. So we figured I have a warehouse that had an existing 7,500 feet on it and a 1,250 square foot front showroom. So we decided to start selling sundries there. And we just actually opened it yesterday. And we have been having trouble really buying direct. And Jonah out of Canada has been a big supporter of ours and sold us underlayment and some of their other items direct. So which I'm working on it, just gradually getting to where we're buying all of our sundries direct. In the meantime, I'm bootlegging whatever I can get in there, making it happen. But we're excited about it. So we're already selling some stuff.
All right. Well, fantastic. Well, good luck with that. Hey, John Taylor, tell me some of the keys that you think to running a successful ProSource showroom. You already talked about how being a part of the system and following the system has been key, but what are some other keys to making your ProSource showroom successful?
So we have done good and we've done bad, and we've learned along the way. I really think that one of the keys to a ProSource showroom is having consistency in your people, having the same account managers that those members and clients go to on a regular basis is really important. When you have turnover, it just affects you. The members lose confidence in your whole store. It's different than a retail side of it, because on the Carpet One side, I get those people once every how many years? It used to be 7 years, now it's probably 10 or 15 years for the most part. On the ProSource side, we want them buying from us as many times during the year as possible. So the more consistency you have and the better the relationship, the better the results are. So I think that's one of the big things. The other thing is that the account managers and even the managers have to be on the phone. They have to make phone calls. They have to prospect. If you lay off of the phone calls, your next month's business is going to be softer than it would be if you stayed on them. So it's a big part of the ProSource model that needs to be followed. And again, I think the ProSource system is extremely good. And I think if you go by what is recommended, it really helps lead you and give you the right tools to make yourself successful.
I appreciate those comments. That is true. Having good people, trained, good staff there. What about for you, John Taylor, as an owner? When you think about, okay, you're sitting in this franchise owner position, some of the keys for you, how do we help you better manage the showrooms or look over and run? What are the keys to being that franchise owner as opposed to maybe just managing the showrooms, or anything else you could add to that?
Well, having the FBC is really a critical point. That person is able to just help us where we need help. Ronnie Tomlinson was our first one, and he did an incredible job for us. I mean, there was one point in our Daytona store where we realized we had the wrong people, and he literally interviewed every single person that we ultimately hired. He set them up. And we were with him on the final interview, but he had it all set up. we hired a bunch of people all at once, and it made all the difference in the world. But he did all the legwork, which made our job much easier. He also, as we hired new people, would come in, and not just him, others that we've had as well, would come in and they would help train them on how to make prospecting calls. They would go through the ProSource system, how they're supposed to be operating, because it's a different model, and they need to understand that. So, that's a big help. I will say that the marketing department, Christina and Deb and them, they're very, very good at staying in touch with us, giving us ideas. They're also good about making the marketing work for us. So, if something doesn't seem quite right, or we feel like we need something in addition to what they're doing or in place of, they're very good about making that work too. So the marketing department's been great. The leadership, Eric and Andrew are incredible. I mean, they're so in tune to everything that's going on, and I think that's a big advantage. They know what's happening in our stores. They see it, and they're able to react as we need help too.
Well, thanks, John. Good comments. Thanks for calling out those individuals who've been great help to you. Hey, John Hughes, how about you? When you think of opening all the way back to when you opened that showroom, all the way to today, what do you think are some of the keys that maybe John Taylor mentioned, but maybe not, the keys that were successful for you in the beginning and nowadays out there in Colorado Springs?
The manager is just key to the whole thing, and your account managers having good people skills. And one of the things that I think is very, very critical when hiring people is computer skills, because they have to have good computer skills. And they also have to be good people, people. In other words, they're running really a business within a business. And they have to, like John said, they have to be on the phone hustling and staying in contact with their members, and just continually bringing new ones in, because we're losing members all the time. So you have to continually bring new ones back in.
Okay, well, thanks. Yeah, that is true. Well, I appreciate that. Last question here, and we'll wrap it up. Tell us a little bit, because retail's different than the ProSource, so we can help the other Carpet One and FA guys and IDG guys out there understand the difference in our customer. You spoke about it briefly, John Taylor, as far as how often they come in. But John Hughes, tell me a little bit of the difference between the Trade Pro customer with the ProSource as opposed to the Carpet One.
ProSource members seems to be, first off, a lot of installers. You'll have them, and they basically know what products they want, and once you start selling them, they'll continually come back in and purchase the same product over and over again. You end up with builders. They bring their clients in. I'll tell you, they can use that showroom for their own benefit, and basically without having to pay for the building or anything else. They have a showroom to where they can just show their customers all of the products available to them. And I feel that also a lot of the people that come into the ProSource stores really just want to go in and help themselves, and then they'll come and get the account manager and say, tell us about this product that they've landed on. So where a Carpet One, you really have to hold their hand all the way through the process.
Yeah, that's a good point, John. We like to say that the ProSource showroom becomes an extension of that Trade Pro members' business, because they have access 24/7 through ProKey. And good point there. John Taylor, how about you? What would you say is some of the differences that you've seen between the ProSource customer, the ProSource member, and the Carpet One or the on the retail side customer?
Well, it's interesting. In some cases, like we used to compete against the ProSource on an everyday basis. Some of the customers that used to buy from me, they actually were buying from the ProSource down the road. And, the advantage is that, if your member is an installer, he can only make so much money installing. Whereas if he brings somebody into the ProSource, he'll get a 10% referral fee. So whatever they buy, he makes an additional 10% on that, and that helps add to his bottom line. So we're really helping him, like you say, he's got his own business, and this just helps add to his profitability. We still deal with a lot of retail, or not retail, but end users, because a lot of the members have their clients come into us. But they are more self-sufficient. The members like to come in and work with their own people, whether it's a designer or an installer or someone like that, the contractor. They like to have the access to the showroom and be able to show their people the products. And so, it makes it good for them. And many contractors and those people have their own installers and stuff. So it gives them an outlet where, in the Carpet One, we do a lot less cash and carry business than you do, obviously, out of the ProSource, where it's meant to be that way.
Well, thank you. Let me throw in one new question I thought of just here out of the blue. How about kitchen and bath? We started up kitchen and bath a while back. I think both of you are in that. John Taylor, give me a brief sentence into what your experience has been with the kitchen and bath product category for ProSource.
I would say kitchen and bath is one of the most exciting parts of the business. We've never, prior to being in ProSource, we did not sell K&B, and it's our biggest growth area that we see. The jobs we see, the numbers that are coming in from that is really incredible. The key to it is having a good designer, though. You have to have the right designer. And truthfully, if you don't have the right designer, you need to figure that out early on, make a change, and get it right. But once you have the right mix between the designer and the account managers, the amount of business is really incredible what you get.
Okay, and John Hughes, how about you? A short comment on your K&B side there in Colorado Springs.
There's no doubt about it. It is a big growth area. And when we first got into it, I was really concerned about the fact that we were not going to be having all the inventory coming into our warehouse, dropping on site. So it's amazing the amount of business that you can do with the kitchen and bath, and we have hardly any of the product come into our warehouse. It's all dropped on site. So it's a business that is very, very much growing.
Well, appreciate that, John. John Hughes, John Taylor, thank you very much today. I'm looking forward to being back together with both of you. Thank you guys for watching this episode of the Roundtable. Hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. And I look forward to seeing both John Taylor, John Hughes, and everyone else at January 2021 convention, not too far from now. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Bruce.